News Talk ZB, happy Saturday morning. It is that time once again for Fishing with Crimpy. I'm Regan, and here's your host, Mr. Daryl Crimp. Morning.
Very good morning. Very good. Do you always start off the same way? Happy Saturday morning. Is it always happy?
It's always a happy Saturday morning.
and the reason I mention that is because I'm stalling for time, because I'm just looking at the run sheet here, just to let people know that we are prepared for this show. We do plan it, sort of. And I see on the intro, it's got intro blank. So you hand it over to me and we go blank.
Yep, you see what I'm doing there.
I see where you're going with that one, Regan. Hey, congratulations. No mean effort in the last week getting the paper out, but it's hot on the shelves now. And if you get to read it, you're lucky to be reading it, because if you were listening last week, we were blasted by the floods.
That's right.
We had to relocate.
Yeah, we could have done with a couple of the boats that are in that paper there in our office.
Yeah, you might have done a runner then. You look good coming to work in your wellies, though.
I had the because I couldn't believe what I saw when I pulled up into Wakatoa Estate last Monday. And I had that one moment of absolute embarrassment, because there's a lot of people in the street, everyone standing around. I get out of my fishing paper car with my papers and everything, thinking, what the heck's going on here? Wham, bang, into the mud, on my back, and I lay there.
I see. No. And when it dried, it's a legacy to you, because it left this perfect imprint of butt cheeks on the pavement. I'm laughing at you, Regan, not with you.
No, I know. I realise.
But you touched on an interesting point, though, and I'm sure a lot of people felt the same, as when we went in and we discovered the devastation. And I'd like to point out, too, again, that we were not as badly affected as some people. I mean, it's the same as any situational disaster. There's always people worse off than you. And I have some empathy for the people of the Christchurch earthquake now, because they suffered what we suffered on a massive scale, far bigger than what we could. But the thing that struck me was there's a moment there in the morning where you're just completely at a loss, aren't you?
Yeah, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Where to next, you know?
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
And I had that same thought about Christchurch as well, because I was standing looking down Wakatoa Estate, seeing all the diggers and all the trucks, and, well, I wasn't standing, I was lying in the mud, but there's all the trucks and all these people and everything.
And you thought, they're coming to get me.
Yeah, they're going to save me.
They've got the HIAB, they'll lift me up.
Either that or throw wet blankets on me. And I thought, geez, this is so much smaller than on the Christchurch scale. They've had to put up with that for years. Still, I had talked to a friend of mine in Christchurch just the other week, and he said, I'm still driving down my street dodging road cones. You know, it's incredible. So,
well, just the insurance aftermath too. We've had the assessors in, and even though our damage was, minor in brackets compared to what some is, you get to see the scale of the things when they start assessing things, and the cost to the economy and to the community is just horrendous. But it's not only the physical loss and things like that gets you. It's the lost time. It's the interruption. It's
well, you had some quite important documents that got lost, didn't you? Because some of your cartooning and things.
Yeah, well, and that's why we took out a good insurance policy, actually, because of the cartoons. We were sorting them, and there's 20 or 30 years worth of cartooning, and we've yet to assess it, but there's probably somewhere in excess of 10 years worth of artwork and original cartoons all lost to the flood. And, it's a bit of a sobering thing, because in part, I mean, it's irreplaceable because they are originals, but it's also my legacy which I hand on, not only to my kids and my family, but also to the country. And a lot of that was destined for the archives in Wellington, and that's lost. So the loss and the impact, while on one level is tangible, but on another level it's quite intangible. But however, at the end of the day, we rallied round, thank you to you and the guys. We relocated abruptly and quickly in the middle of that disaster, and we still managed to put out a paper, and it looks pretty damn awesome, if you ask me. It
does look pretty damn awesome. Well done to everyone there. And that was the first time I've ever saw, actually, Wacker Murphy was brown. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, there are stranger things happening in this world. Now, just a bit of housekeeping. The Belgrove Tavern, the 11th annual Boar Hunt is on the 7th and 8th of June. Stay tuned for that one. Entries available from Sterling Sports, Belgrove, Bays Brewery, Super Liquor, Richmond. Entries must be in by 7 p.m. Thursday, the 6th of June. Don't forget the paper's out now, and we have a guest looming. More of that in a moment.
Talk ZB on Saturday morning, and it is Fishing with Crimpy. See, I didn't say happy Saturday morning.
Well,
it's better than saying
whip-de-doo.
Welcome along to this mediocre Saturday.
That'll be picky.
Just
All
go
right,
Tides.
the tides are. They're all the big fives today. If you're in Nelson, the high tide is at 17 minutes past 5. That's a 3.4 metre. Havelock, your high tide is 3 minutes past the hour of 5 o'clock. 2.5 metres, 2 past 5 p.m. for Chriselles, and you've got a 3.6 metre. Stephen, it's a little one up there at high tide at 5 p.m, 1.9 metres. Westport, your high tide, 20 to 7, 2.8 metres, and Greymouth, you're a little bit early at 15 to 7 p.m. tonight. There you go. Right, I promised you we'd have a special guest on the show today. We have indeed, all the way from the shaky city itself, from Christchurch. Malcolm Housestead, good morning.
Morning, Crimpy. How are you?
I'm very, very well. How is the shaky city?
Excellent. Yeah, no, it's all settled down nicely, and yeah, things are starting to move in the right direction.
You getting you still get any tremors?
No, I haven't felt one in months now, which is good.
What about
a bit of wood somewhere, Crimpy? Where's your head?
Yeah, what about earthquakes? Yeah, when I say you're a special guest, actually, I just wanted to ring up and see how you got on the Raw, because the radio station's paying for the toll call. So, did you get did you get out hunting at all?
I did. My son and I got out for a walk in the hills and saw a few deer. Nothing really up to what we wanted, so I took a few pictures instead.
So you didn't actually put a bullet in one?
No. Lowered the goat population on the way home, and heading back in on the 18th of this month for another couple of days.
So where were you hunting?
Kaikoura.
Okay, what's the address?
I can't say. Secret. If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
The Waitelu Creek.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I've been up Waitelu before. Nunya. Yep. I've been up the Nunya River. Where's that? Nunya business. All right. So, were you actually hunting trophies, or just?
Yeah. Looking for a good red stag. Just sort of trying to beat a personal best, and I've never shot any really huge ones, so it won't have to be that big. But just something around 10 or 12 points would be nice.
Do they get them sort of any decent size down that part of the country?
Yeah, the farms that I go on do tend to have a few decent ones there. They like to keep the really big ones as breeding stock, so we steer clear of the light 14-pointers, etc.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, just something around 10 or 12 would be good.
Give me a call when you want me to carry your rifle.
Could you walk that far?
Hey, have you ever heard of piggybacking?
Yeah, it's uphill, Crimpy.
I'll take a long shot, smart ass. Just one other thing before we get on to the fishing. You mentioned shooting goats. Now, I think there's been a bit of a transformational swing, because a lot of people call them stinks. They don't rate them fairly highly, but we eat a lot of goat because it's absolutely superb eating. You eat them yourself, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we eat a huge amount of them. In fact, and recently I've employed an Indian chap in my office here, and he was complaining that he couldn't buy goat meat, and I said, well, I'll just bring in some legs out of the freezer, and you knock me up a curry. And it was absolutely stunning.
I don't know what it is about goat curry, because I make one at home, and that seems to be everybody's favourite, not only with the mum, dad and the kids, but it's visitors as well. But I've noticed in Auckland you can actually buy goat meat now, so they're obviously catering to the wider population up there.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I guess they've got the population base to justify doing it, really, haven't they?
It's interesting, because I think if people switch to goat rather than mutton, and I'm sure the farmers are going to squeal if they hear this show, but I mean, you can have a bit of mutton as well, but the goat's got virtually no fat content in it. And I know health-wise, since I've been eating it, I've had an issue with cholesterol, partly hereditary, I guess, and partly something else. But since I've been on the game, venison and particularly goat, the cholesterol levels have halved.
Right.
Yeah, so it tells you it's got to be good for you.
It is a beautiful lean meat. It's absolutely stunning, particularly for like a young nanny goat, or any nanny goat for that matter. I mean, I wouldn't eat an old billy goat, but there's nothing wrong with nanny goat back legs, and you can get sort of a dozen to 18 in your day pack. So pretty cheap meat, really, isn't it, compared to what lamb is in the shops?
Well, it is, and people, if they haven't tried it, they should try it, because it's beautiful eating as well. What's your preferred method of cooking it?
In the crock pot.
Yeah, I was going to say, we do that too.
Four legs in a crock pot, a few herbs and spices, and it comes out stunning. Yeah,
it just melts in your mouth.
Yep.
All right, we were ringing you up to actually talk fishing, and you've basically wasted one segment already, so we've really got bugger all time to talk fishing.
Oh, okay.
But what I want to talk about in the next segment is national fishing competitions. Not many people down here know it, but you actually fish in the nationals, but you don't have to go up north. You fish locally.
Yeah, I do.
And basically out of Christchurch, Kaikoura?
Kaikoura, yep.
All right, we'll have more of that in just a minute.
It is Fishing with Crimpy. We've got Malcolm Housestead on the line.
I was about to say my mate Malcolm Housestead, but he's just been bagging me in the and the ad breaks. I'm not so sure about how far the mate extends at the moment. Hey,
Fishing associate.
Yeah, matey. Hey, matey. Onto this national. I wasn't actually aware of it until I read some of your columns because you're a key writer for the fishing paper. But you're talking about fishing the nationals. So can you explain what actually that entails?
Okay, basically speaking, there's about 40 sport fishing clubs based throughout New Zealand, and they're all affiliated to one national body, which is the New Zealand Sport Fishing Council. And as part of that affiliation, annually they run a competition for a week called the Nationals. Now, there's no prize money or prizes, it's just for trophies, and there's a lot of honesty in it. But when you're a true sports fisherman, it works for you. So basically speaking, for the week, you go out and you target game fish, which includes sharks, marlin, carwai, snapper, tuna, all the normal stuff. You're trying to catch the biggest possible fish on the lightest possible line, and you get points per fish. And they take the weight of the fish, multiply it by 100, and then divide it by the line weight, and that's how you get your points for that fish.
So is it at the end of the week they accrue all the points that you've got, and that's how you're assessed?
No, you put your points in or your catches in every day. Which is reasonably easy these days with cell phones, with emails, etc. And every night they put out the results. So every night you can see what's happening in the different categories, and you can change your techniques to suit. Because we fish in Kaikoura, we're chasing sharks, and what we're looking for is fish that are what we call 10 to 1 or better. So in other words, if a 100 kilo shark comes up behind the boat, we sort of try and get them on 8 to 10 kilo line. So
do you sit there and call the fish in and say, "Excuse me, just wait while I weigh you," and then and then put the rig out accordingly?
Pretty much that's it. We burley them up till they come in, let them swim around the boat a bit. Generally, the guys on the boat, we get it pretty right, and we assess the fish as to weight. We generally get within about 10 kilo, and we target them accordingly. Or if they're too small to target, we can actually catch them and put a tag in them and release them, and we get 75 points for every shark that we tag and release, and that helps with the research program on them as well.
A lot of people would probably not even consider the fact that we have game fish in the South Island. People normally associate game fish with marlin. So what sort of sharks fit into that category?
The ones that we are targeting are blue shark and mako shark. And when you could catch them, we would have considered the white pointer, albeit only as tagging. We did tag one a few years ago when you could catch them. That was about 200 kilo.
If I did it, I'd need a very, very long tag pole.
Are you saying your tag pole's not very long?
But it's very effective. It's very sharp.
Not fulfilling voids.
Moving right on to another subject. How many people actually are involved in this national thing? Is it big?
This year there was 37 clubs. There was around about 1,000 anglers. Out of that 37 clubs, the club that I belong to, the Canterbury Sport Fishing Club, took out 4th place. So we're pretty happy with that.
So how long have you been doing this?
That's a good question. Probably about 15 years I've been fishing the nationals.
Yeah. So what's the best that you have done on a personal level?
My best is a 110 kilo mako on 10 kilo line. Probably the proudest one that I was involved with was my son Jack catching a 45 kilo blue on 4 kilo line.
45 kg blue shark?
Yep.
I didn't realise they got so big. That's big.
Oh yeah, I think the New Zealand record blue shark's around about 120 kilo.
Mako or mako, however you say them, they put up a good fight, don't they?
Oh, they're stunning. Yeah, they once they realise they're hooked, they will do a run and jump clean out of the water. And they're one of the only fish that can jump out of the water. They turn completely 180 degrees and land head first back into the water.
They are actually in Tasman Bay as well. I remember we had a guy here that used to catch them years ago until one almost leapt in the boat and he retired from shark fishing.
Yeah, we had one this year nearly leap in the boat. It was the closest call we've had. It decided just to grab the bait and not worry about the run, just do the jump part.
All right.
And we all got drenched with the spray that came off him.
Hey, thanks, Mark. We've got to actually take the bait and run now, so we appreciate your call.
Not a problem, Crimpy.
Yeah, and I hope your tag pole grows a bit longer. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, you guys have a good day.
You too. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.